Hello students, today you're going to be making an artificial cell like this out of a piece of what's called dialysis tubing, which looks like this when we start. Dialysis tubing is a substance that's made out of the cellulose from plant cells, in other words, the cell walls of cells. And what makes this stuff kind of cool is it's got tiny holes in it, pores, that are similar in size to the holes that go through your cell membrane. So when we make a cell like this, it'll allow us to have an artificial cell that should allow substances to diffuse in and out of them if they are the correct size. So to make this dialysis tubing into an actual tube, you'll notice when it's dry, it looks like a piece of tape. To turn it into a tube shape that you can fill with a liquid, what we're going to do is soak it in water in a beaker for a few minutes. And then when you pull that tape out, if you rub it between your fingers for a few minutes, you'll get the tube shape to start to form. Student assistant number 1 has done a good job making this into more of a tube. He's now going to tie off one end of the cell so that it can't leak. And to do that, he's just twisting it up like a candy wrapper. And then he's going to fold that twist in half. That fold is very, very crucial. If you don't fold your twisted end in half, it's not going to hold. Student assistant number 2 has prepared 2 strings that she's going to tie around the end of the dialysis tubing. These are simple overhand knots like you're tying a shoelace. We're using string in this video just so it's easier for you to see the knots. In your actual lab, you're going to use thread. Once that is done, student assistant number 1 is now going to open up the open end of the tube, while student assistant number 2 injects what's called starch solution into the tube to fill it up about halfway. And let's see, perfect, I can see it right there. Go ahead and start putting in some of the substance. Yeah, so our starch solution is what's going to create the content of the inside of your cell. You can think of that as being the cytoplasm in your artificial cells. And once it's about halfway full, we're going to tie off the other end. It doesn't have to be all the way full. Let me one more shot of that. Looks good. Okay, student assistant number 1 now is just going to twist off the other end. If you start at the bottom and just twist the bottom of it, it'll get all the gook and stuff sealed out. And then, so just like sealing off the first end, you just twist it up and put a good fold in it to hold it. And then we add the second string to the end and knot it. Oh, it's okay. That'll happen a couple times. And then what's really important with the string or the thread, make sure you add several knots just to make sure it holds. This string we can pull pretty tight. With thread, if you pull too tight, it's going to snap it and you're going to have to start over. When you're done with those knots, you'll have an artificial cell like so. Good job, student assistant number 1. Good job, student assistant number 2. Yay! And there's how to make an artificial dialysis tube cell.